You are now listening to STF Underground, bringing you the latest news, exclusive interviews, and talking good old pro wrestling. And now, your host, dougEwrestling.
Wow, ladies and gents, we're live. This is gonna be exciting, Fox Narayan. Folks that don't know, folks that don't know, I'm dougEwrestling, in case you haven't seen me. That guy there, Fox Narayan. Just so that you guys are aware, little disclaimer, we're doing a watch party here at STF Underground today, but it's like a 5-second delay from when you might see if you're watching live on Dynamite to what you guys might hear us say or do, or, you know, if you guys hear us cheer or whatever on the stream, it might be something 5 seconds ago, but we got a lot of exciting things to talk about. We got that watch party, obviously, that we're doing. We're going to talk about a lot of things throughout the show because this is not the only show that happened this week, Fox. We had SummerSlam. We had NXT. I think the first thing that I'll say before Dynamite starts, as it's about to start right now, WWE tricked me this week. And you know that to be true after an amazing SummerSlam, which I thought was just great, and then it tricked me into watching Raw, which was not great. It was actually it was horrible, and I think I got to play a bad sound effect here, as they definitely tricked me, but unfortunately, that reminded me why. Oh, holy crap! Dynamite started. It is on, and there are fans there. As we know, AEW has fans, and wow, this is interesting. They're not as separate as I thought they would be, Fox. Yeah, tag team gauntlet's about to go down. We've got, it looks like the Young Bucks against... You are not wrong, my friend. It looks like we've got that tag team gauntlet match. Natural Nightmares, Young Bucks, Best Friends, FTR, all involved here. And the Bucks and looks like Natural Nightmares are starting, but Jericho's coming down. I'm sure you're excited for this one. So let me ask you, while we're waiting for Chris Jericho to talk here, obviously he's about to get going, but we missed a Dynamite, obviously, with last week being on Saturday, and now we're seeing, this. So there's been 2 Dynamites now since the time that we recorded and did this live. So we saw Mimosa Challenge match. We saw Chris Jericho challenge Orange Cassidy, and I guess that's happening. What did you think about that match and what's going to be going down at All Out? Oh, hang on, you got to listen to this. You got the crowd singing Judas. How good is it to hear that? Wow. I can't believe that. On commentary. Wow, this feels weird. This is officially the best show of wrestling, isn't it? Like, as up in the air as it might be with how safe you feel with everything going on, it's an energy that I feel like is just crazy right now. All right, for those that we might not be able to hear Fox, so apologies for people here, but let's see what I can do about that. I can hear you, but I'm not sure if the streamers can hear you, so let's see. No, no wife, it's not just you that can't hear Fox, and you got... Let's see here. First time streaming live, everybody, so technical difficulties are unavoidable. Let's see if I can get the audio going here. Let's see here. Sorry, everybody, that is wanting to hear Fox's beautiful voice. It's the right to censor. Oh, I know what I gotta do. Sorry, buddy. Technical difficulties. I'm sure it's... I guess so. Let's see here. Don't worry, everybody. We'll make sure to keep all this editing of me just talking in, of me just fumbling through the programs here. Fox, this is your chance to get the cue cards. Where the hell is it? Once again, apologies, everybody, for the technical difficulties. We're going to go on quick black screen here real quick. Apologies, everybody. No, it's me.
Yes. Do I hear myself? I think I hear myself. Oh. No, we're back. I am not censored anymore. There's your multi-man match of the day. There we go. I see the chat lighting up as my voice gets back. Let's get some video on this now. Vinay. Gotta say mine.
Oh, we're back. Okay. I can hear you. You can hear me.
About time. Yeah, everyone
And
else could hear me already.
Can hear Fox too. Woo! All right. We are back, everybody, and we're watching Dynamite live for those that are just joining us. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but we are back, baby! All right.
Just in time for the best friends, and as you can see, streaming live are the best friends, you and I.
All right, I got to type in the YouTube chat here. We've got...
Yeah.
I'm gonna...
We're going to put this on Botchamania.
Yeah, right? All right, let's see. How do I ban people on YouTube?
Oh, I don't know. Who are we banning?
I can't say his name on here.
Ah.
No, I'll let him just watch our beauty here. But we've got, obviously, the Young Bucks and the Best Friends going on here. Fox, is this something you're excited about? Can you hear me, Fox?
I can hear you.
All right.
I was watching the Bucks do their thing here.
So those that know, that have been watching, or listening to us for weeks and weeks now, obviously, the Bucks haven't been my favorite, but they're obviously, I think, good for continuously having the matches that are exciting and with no story. Holy crap! What a spear!
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the match last week on Saturday. It just felt like a bunch of setup spots.
By the way, we've also, people watching right now, we've got our friend Kareem, we've got Vinay. I think my wife is watching because she's the best. We've got Mr. Main Event. I think that's about everybody right now on the chat.
It's all 4 friends we have.
No, actually,
and a wife.
No, we've got somebody from ProWrestling.com. I'm not really sure who is also watching us, but he said, "Say my name or you're fired." So I'm worried that it's a Beyonce reference. So, which would really hurt me, as you know.
Kareem says Fox with an amazing 1998 Kane impersonation because I'm quiet.
I didn't know if it was like you being like, "Suck."
Yeah, I was gonna say I should have been like, "This is Fox from the STF Underground."
What was the last time that you watched Being the Elite? Well, when was the last time you watched Being the Elite, Fox?
Being the Elite? It's been a while. I think honestly, I think it was the backyard wrestling episode.
Yeah,
The one where
actually, same for me. That was the last time that I think I watched.
was that the one before or after they had the Marty cameo?
That was after the
Okay.
Being the Elite. I think that was episode 200. Was that whole thing? I know they've had the Dark Order on a lot. I've seen like clips of it, but I feel like it's gotten longer and less stuff is happening. It's a lot of, at least before episode 200, it was a lot of going back and forth with watching them just travel and then backstage stuff. So I think that's maybe why I've fallen out a little bit with the Young Bucks. I like, just seeing them right now, I feel like the two most talented guys are in the ring for sure with Nick Jackson and Trent. And
yeah, I like Trent a lot.
Trent is awesome. He needs a singles run for sure.
Poor Sue, her van. But did you hear what I said about last week? I was not a big fan of the Bucks in the Elite tag match last week.
I feel like that whole thing was just, I don't know. It felt like lack of action, just chaos. It was my low point of the night.
Yeah, it was very chaotic. Like, it didn't seem like it had any flow to it at all. I do like aggressive Kenny Omega, though.
I do like aggressive Kenny Omega. They haven't, what my problem was with that whole thing was they had something like 2 weeks ago about it and didn't follow up last week at all and then do a little bit of something this week. So I hope that they can follow it up. It feels like the pay-per-view and All Out is obviously coming on. So I'm not really sure, what they're going to do with it pretty quickly here.
Yeah. I feel like my prediction of a triple threat tag match at All Out is not going to happen now because this is a gauntlet for the number one contenders, right?
Yeah, and I think what are we, a week and a half away from All Out? I feel like I don't know the card that well, other than MJF and
Mox,
and then now Hikaru Shida and Thunder Rosa, which I'm super excited about that.
Well, there'll be Britt Baker and Big Swole.
Oh, actually, you know what? It came to be that handicap match that they announced last week, which looks like it's going to be Britt Baker with Penelope Ford and maybe her person that I can't remember her name, but her hairdresser against Big Swole.
Oh, well.
Those that are on the stream, we appreciate you guys being on. Though again, if you don't know, I'm the host of STF Underground, dougEwrestling. With me, of course, as usual, Fox Narayan. Follow me on Twitter at dougEwrestling. Follow Fox at Fox Narayan on Twitter. Feel free to use the chat. We are taking a look here. We're seeing everybody here.
Look how many shout-outs I'm getting, Doug.
That's because you're the more handsome of us, too.
Hey, you have a face for podcasting and radio, Doug. It's okay.
Yeah, Nick Jackson is super exciting. I love watching him in the ring. I feel like he does the hot tag really well every single time. Oh, what a spine buster.
What a maneuver.
Vinay.
Come on, Doug. This is us
our
doing
chance to do commentary.
For our commentating ability.
No, this is normally, and I have to apologize to our friend Vinay. This is normally, my time I spend with him. This is the time that I normally watch some wrestling with him. We text back and forth, and now you've stolen that thunder because, of course, it's our time that we normally record. And
yes.
giving the people what they want.
Tough titties, Vinay.
All right, so early assessment. We've obviously got the gauntlet here. I mean, who do you got in this match? We've got an elimination of the Natural Nightmares.
This was going to a non-finish. I think that the Bucks are going to make it to the end. FTR will be the last team, and they're going to have some non-finish or double, I don't know, count out, something. That'll make it a triple threat.
I'm thinking in this one, the Young Bucks are going to win. And it's only because I think that All Out is the time that, is going to be the dissension of the Elite. I feel like the Bucks are going to win the titles, which is going to allow, the whole FTR and Hangman Page alliance, maybe with Kenny turning, that kind of thing. I'm very interested to see what happens at All Out. Either way, you have to assume that FTR, the Bucks, and Kenny Omega and Adam Page are going to be involved in that tag team match.
Yeah, so you think they're going to be doing a rematch of
Revolution?
Their Revolution match?
But I think that it's going to be a means to an end. I don't know if I'm that interested in seeing... And I also don't know if it makes sense to see FTR go against Hangman Page when they're just teasing their alliance, So I don't know if that makes too much sense.
So what does FTR do then?
I think FTR helps Page with that turn. I think that they align with him after that match.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
Okay,
well,
so
count
there
me
goes
wrong.
my prediction.
Wow. Looks like it's...
Okay, Swerve.
Looks like it's Hangman Page with his heel turn early. That's great.
It's not a heel turn. He's gonna say, "I didn't."
Well, sorry,
want to
that
face
turn,
you guys.
the against the Elite. You know what I'm saying?
It's intrigue.
It is a lot of intrigue. Wow, he looks like he's got that makeup on. He's been drinking. I love Hangman Page.
Oh, I'm a huge Hangman Page fan.
We got a question in the chat, by the way. Vinay is asking us, should they be showing the crowd in the pods more? What do you think, Fox?
In the pods?
Yeah, the crowd, should they be showing them more often here?
Maybe. I mean, like close-ups. I don't think like the full arena shot is flattering.
I mean, yeah, I don't think so either, but it pains me to say that a little bit just because it's like the fans are there for the noise then. They're not the eye candy, and I guess, yeah, sure, that it's good for the fans to be watching this live, and that's great for them, but we're obviously not seeing them ringside. They seem to be pretty far away in Daly's place. It's great to hear them. I'm very interested to hear how some of these people are perceived. Like if FTR here is going to get booed or cheered.
They should be getting booed, except by Smarky Smarks, myself.
Well, and that's what AEW is, right? Like me and you, if we're in the crowd, we're cheering for FTR.
See, this is just smart booking, man. Like, this is just making everyone look good. Like, the Bucks lose with a reason. You got the best friends hanging in there for a while, and they have to face a fresh FTR. So if FTR wins, which I expect them to win, that's awesome.
It's super interesting to think about, and thanks ProWrestling.com for the chat here saying, interesting twist, love the slow burn of the Elite. Feel like they've been slowly playing this out for about a year, and it's the long-term booking with a goal way out in the future for a long time, like in the late 90s. I'm very interested to see, because you have to assume that the payoff is going to be All Out. If Hangman Page is essentially giving the win to what looks to be most likely FTR, you have to assume that Paige and Kenny are going to be going against FTR, which I'm interested to see how that plays out. You know, you give the win to somebody who's going to be fighting against you. Maybe, you know, Paige is ready to turn his back on Kenny during that match and give the win to FTR.
Well, I've loved all of the slow burn that they've done with that, and most of the time the reason that can't be sustained is because they just don't have the storyline for it, and they run out of things to do. So then they're like, let's just get to the ending. I think they know how they want this thing to end, and they're doing a great job of milking it. And they've got these like good checkpoints, like they had the tag team match at Revolution, but then they've had like obviously Kenny and Hangman teasing, but then they keep winning. So, you know,
that whole thing, obviously, with Kenny and Hangman, it was a surprise to begin with. I'm interested to see if it is FTR against Kenny and Hangman. Do you think that FTR should be picking up that win and already be the AEW Tag Team Champions?
Ooh, that's a tough call. Maybe. Like, to me, the storyline is more important than the actual title switch. So if the title switch happens, fine, but I want it to play an integral part in the story. Like, it needs to have some implications, right? I'm going to be more interested in the drama element of it.
Interesting.
You know, do the Bucks come back and repay the favor and cost Hangman the way he did tonight?
I mean, you have to think at some point the Bucks and Hangman is going to boil over. I think that, you know, the whole Matt Jackson and Hangman Page eventually has to be a singles match down the line. By the way, hashtag AEW Gauntlet if you want to go get your free meet and greets or whatever they're doing these days for the prizes. But yeah, you have to assume that it is going to boil over. You know, hopefully that long-term booking pays off. I don't know what I buy though. Is, you know, and I understand the first thing that people are going to say now is it's okay to be a tweener, but in the world of heels and faces, do you buy more Hangman staying a face and the Elite, you know, Kenny and the Bucks turning heel, or do you buy more FTR being heels with Hangman Page being a heel?
Okay, so FTR I buy as heels. I've always just said that Adam Page would work the best on his own.
So you think Adam Page on his own?
Yes.
So I mean, obviously the rumors have been for a while of whatever the four are going to be with, you know, the Hangman Page, FTR, and whoever's going to fill that fourth spot. I'm not saying that FTR is going to be in a tag team with Hangman Page. I mean, I feel like they're just going to be in a faction with Hangman Page, hopefully, to me, being in that main event spot eventually.
This match is actually going a lot longer than I thought with the best friends FTR. I thought FTR would just come in and run right through them. This is just WWE tag matches conditioning for me.
You know, I will say though, and I hate saying these words, but in the defense of the WWE, they have killed it for a while when it comes to gauntlet matches. They've done really well with those. They've been some of the more highlights of the matches in the last few years when it comes to, if you think about Kofi, when you think about Bryan, when you think about Seth. I mean, those have all been really awesome gauntlet matches. I mean, I'm glad that this is a gauntlet match at the end of the day with the tag team right here, because, you know, you're not having the continuous chaos over and over and over when it comes to what we see in the multi-man matches.
Mm-hmm.
Tiger Blood in the chat here is saying that, Hangman's going to turn on Kenny and the Bucks.
I could see that. I mean, and the cool thing is they've done a really good job of, I guess, planting seeds of doubt as to which way it goes. With Kenny being a little bit more aggressive. Like, a few weeks ago he was like just beating up on Jungle Boy and whatever the little kid, Jurassic Express.
Marco Stunt.
That guy. I wanted to say Mario Stunt. I was like, no, that's not right.
I mean, you wouldn't be wrong. You would not be wrong. Hey, people in the chat, once again, just real quick, if you guys hear Fox with an echo, let us know. If not, great.
I think I'm the only one that hears myself with an echo. I wonder why. Tiger Blood, I'm in on that. Crazy Kenny as the cleaner, like, I'd love that. I think Doug would like that a lot. I think Doug wants him to be this indestructible S-tier kind of character.
He absolutely needs to be. I've been sick of Kenny Omega. Actually, you know what? He's had really great matches, but he's just been booked so bad since the start of AEW to me. He's lost.
Although he's got a ridiculous winning record.
And that's what I mean. Is I'm not talking about his win-loss rate. I'm talking about his personality and seeming like he's this killer, great wrestler, that kind of thing. I feel like in tag team matches, it's not about Kenny, it's about Hangman. And granted, Hangman has prevailed because of it. He's grown because of it, which has only been really great for Hangman. And maybe that's the point. But, Kenny, I feel like, has been the odd man out in the Elite. Even with Cody, the Bucks, Hangman, all those guys, he's been the, for lack of a better word, forgotten son.
And he needs to be on his own. Like, I think FTR works as a heel team. And then I also wouldn't mind the Bucks and Kenny, like, Elite being tweeners, right? And if Cody is leaning that way, that's good. I think Hangman would just work the best on his own.
Yeah, I gotta agree. Who knows? Maybe he joins the Dark Order. All right, so now we got commercial time, Fox. So I've got some questions for you. Talking about last week's AEW, saw a lot of things. Obviously, talking about FTR and Hangman. We saw that interesting segment, and then they kind of joined it together. They're kind of becoming these drinking buddies. I mean, are you excited? And this kind of goes back to what I was mentioning before. But do you think then that a faction is in the works for these guys, or do you feel like it's just a false tease, and maybe we're at the end of the day they're going to swerve us?
Well, I think we're definitely going to get swerved no matter which way they go. There's going to be red herring after red herring, but a faction is definitely in the works. Now, whether it's with the people we think it's going to be, I don't know. But they've done such a good job of sowing the seeds of doubt that the speculation is going to be running rampant. But I like FTR playing mind games with Hangman. That's awesome to me.
If that is how it ends up, and if they are the ones that end up using Hangman to get to that title picture, I would love that. I would love if that's how it ends up. I
think that would be great, because also then Hangman gets a lot of heat from the Young Bucks, who are like, they played you and you turned your back on the Elite, or you took their side. And I can see Matt Jackson just getting in his face about it.
Yeah, but then ultimately at the end of the day, that makes Hangman a heel, right? You'd have to think, that's the way they're going with it?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
So, also last week,
I like what Tiger Blood said. He said, don't trust anyone.
He's talking about Hangman going old school Austin. I feel like they've got a lot of those right now.
He is an Austin prototype.
I feel like he is, but with Moxley there, and that's really what they're trying to create out of Moxley, I'm not sure that I want that from Hangman. And honestly, even though he's the boots, he's the cowboy, he's got that, and I think a little bit more before when him and Kenny were going a little bit more back and forth. Now they seem to be a little bit more in sync, but definitely Hangman was pulling off that Austin better than Moxley was. Maybe at the end of the day
there was a point where especially during like the Stadium Stampede, like Hangman was like the most over babyface in the company almost.
Yeah, I think that.
And I would say, responding to ProWrestling.com, they said that Evolution is they're doing with Hangman what Evolution did for Randy. Yes and no. I would say they're doing for Hangman what Evolution did for Batista. In terms of that slow burn, he won't. Granted, this has been going a lot longer, but Batista was very organically shot into the spot that Randy was supposed to be in.
Yep. Can I tell you, by the way, how much I love Darby Allin?
I do love him.
And you know what
I
you just said.
I don't know if I expected the Darby to have such a quick match last week.
I didn't know if I expected Darby to get the reaction that he has in AEW.
Yeah, it's true.
And I've watched Darby for a little while now. I saw him in Beyond Wrestling. I saw him obviously in AEW in Chicago. Oh, Casino Battle Royal. Winner gets an AEW World Championship match.
Okay, finally, you're doing something with the Murder Hawk. I will tell you, what was it, a few weeks ago? I was not a fan of them making Jake the Snake kind of like his whipping boy, where he like ripped his shirt off and like it was almost like comedic. Because I like Jake the Snake as like this kind of sadistic old man.
This cerebral kind of guy.
He's an evil bastard.
Yep, yeah. I loved what he did with the snake and Brandy and that whole thing. I thought that was really great.
Yeah, he was like this, like real, like grimy old people dude. They need more of that.
Okay, so
yes,
Lance Archer's the man. I just saw him
at
Warrior Wrestling a couple weeks back. I don't mean to break kayfabe here too much, but the guy is the coolest guy. I love him. Sean Maluta. Why do I know that name? Sean Maluta. Somebody tell me in the chat. Isn't that
he was in the Cruiserweight Classic.
Yes, thank you. Yes, he was.
He's, I guess, related to old Owen.
But, going back to Darby Allin, one of the things that I love seeing about Darby is how much he's resonated so far with the crowd. People love him. People love his entrance. People love his look. People love his feel. And for how little of a guy he is, it's pretty cool to see, the reception for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, well, we've talked about it. That Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin are two very over guys that couldn't possibly be any more different. And I think they're going to have peaks and they're going to keep overtaking each other over and over again. Right now, it's probably debatable who's over, but Orange Cassidy is getting more exposure, which is both good and bad, right? I think what makes Darby Allin so intriguing is the mystery. They don't show him that much. When you do get to see him, it's like the entire package of explosiveness, and then he's gone for a bit, right? So I think those are the things that really stand out. So I don't know who's more over. I'm happy both guys are over, but because I'm a fan of both of them.
Tiger Blood, if you listen to us a couple weeks ago, one of the things that we were talking about is there are three guys, in my opinion, that are on the cusp of being in that main event, which I think is, Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, and Sammy Guevara. I think those three guys are consistently groomed to be there. And we were kind of mentioning that we're interested to see who it's going to be that actually gets there, but I think that Darby, is probably in the best position to get there right now. Whether that happens, we'll see. But I'm excited that the upper middle card is so strong right now.
Yeah, I think all three of them. What's cool is that all three of them are like kind of cruiserweighty kind of guys that maybe 10, 15 years ago would have had a shot in hell of sniffing a main event.
The future's crazy strong, though, if you think about that, though. Between those guys, Lance Archer, MJF, I mean, though any of those 5 guys that I just mentioned are legitimate title contenders in the next couple of years.
I think I would put Lance Archer before all those guys.
I love Lance Archer. You know, one of the things I want to ask you, too, ProWrestling.com, by the way, if you guys don't know, catch us every single week on ProWrestling.com and also follow ProWrestling.com on Twitter. But they mentioned here on our chat, I'm okay with the Battle Royal returning since we didn't get a proper Double or Nothing this year. Been a minute. Do you feel like that becomes a little bit repetitive, Fox? We saw the casino ladder match, you know, with somebody getting a title shot, and now we got the Battle Royal with somebody getting a title shot. Do you feel like it's too many multi-man matches to get somebody a title shot? Or are you okay with this?
No, I'm okay with it. I think those are always very, very fun. But because the ladder match is completely different. I mean, I guess they both have the word casino in it, but that's not it.
Yeah, no, and I don't disagree. I don't mean about, you know, the name necessarily. More so about, you know, the fact that a random. I mean, it's like having a Royal Rumble every couple months, you know. And I guess WWE does it, I guess, with the Money in the Bank and the Royal Rumble. So this is kind of like
you've got to always have different ways to decide who the next contender is. I'm okay with it. The multi-man matches happen.
Rankings, man. Rankings. They're real.
Like one-on-ones and stuff.
Now, I got a feeling as we're getting close to the mid-hour here, you know, that we're going to be hearing a little bit more about Cody and what happened with everything with the Dark Order. As we know, Cody was decimated last week by Brody Lee.
That's the biggest swerve ever.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't know what to expect with that match. I know that you, like me, didn't expect Brody to win, especially this close to All Out. I mean, are you happy with what happened?
Like that, I think the match was like 40 minutes and 10 seconds.
Yeah, the match itself, crazy that it was so short. But do you feel like, you know, these guys are? I mean, or do you feel like this was a good thing for Cody to lose this quick? I know that he was scheduled to lose because he's going to be going to go film with Stephen Amell on the new pro wrestling show called Heels, debuting soon. Filming now.
He's not even going to be at All Out?
It sounds like he's going to be taking an extended leave, which, by the way, if you want more on this story, go to ProWrestling.com. But, and by the way, David Gosselman on the chat, we just want to give him a shout out. Met him at Revolution, and very, very nice guy. Glad to see him. Thanks for joining us, David, for a little bit here. But, you know, kind of getting back to it, Fox. Cody's out for what seems like the foreseeable future. You got to assume he's going to be filming for the next month at least. So, which is good for an injury angle, and that's fine. But do we have are we still going to get an open challenge every single week, do you think? Are we still going to get...
No, I don't think so. I think that's a very more babyface thing to do, in my opinion. But Cody did have a great run. Yeah. Just to start your point, like, I mean, but this is like a anything can happen moment, right? You need those things where the big things don't just happen on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it's a really great thing that things do happen every single week. You know, some of my favorite times in wrestling is where you're talking about it, like a quote-unquote water cooler talk the next day. You know, I know back then, you know, it was in school or, hey, did you watch Raw? But I think that they're doing this again is like, hey, did you see that? For those that don't know, and if you can't say the whole time, this entire episode is also being recorded for the podcast that will release at its normal time tomorrow on ProWrestling.com and anywhere else that you could find podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, everywhere else that you could find your podcast. Fox, does Brody hold it for a long time then?
I think he should, mainly because they've done everything in their freaking power to get the Dark Order over when, I would say, 4 or 5 months ago, they were a joke.
Yeah.
And they've tried everything.
This is the first time to me that I'm actually interested in the Dark Order. You know, and Brody Lee was a little bit of a difference in being interested in what he did with Moxley, but the Dark Order themselves, I am actually finally interested.
Yeah, well, I love the suggestion. Scorpio Sky versus Brody Lee. I love that. But I would want to see I would want to see Scorpio Sky win. And I feel like if he faced Brody Lee, you don't want to see him get squashed.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the next time we see Scorpio Sky in a title match, he's already lost 2. He's got to win the next one.
Yes. No, I think Brody should have a good run, but less of an open challenge and more of sparse defenses and just good like a good couple of blood feuds.
Do you think? I mean, I know we've got a prediction episode.
Let's see what Taz is saying.
Oh, yep. Sorry.
This is the land of like managers and value.
Yep, I love it. Jake the Snake also so good on the mic.
Yeah, they're just 2 great promo guys
What are we hearing?
with their respective monsters. I like it.
Who are we hearing here? Got some new music going on here.
That's Darby. Where are you?
Are you behind here?
I don't. It says I'm live.
I've got
At
Taz just coming out right now.
46:11.
We got a brawl. Oh, never mind. Yep, I was sorry, everybody. My stream was like 30 seconds behind. It looks like so much technical
Trying
difficulties
to
today.
gaslight me, Doug.
No, you know I was reacting to the music with Brian Cage and everyone else.
Oh yeah, I still don't know his music. Yeah.
What do you mean? Who can stop the path of Cage? I was seeing people here in the chat saying Cage versus Archer, and I'm thinking like, oh yeah, David, that sounds awesome, and it's clearly already in the ring.
Well, what I like about AEW is it's like they can have heels that don't like each other. They can have baby faces that don't like each other. It doesn't have to be, well, that guy can't face each other because he's a, heel, and this guy is a goober face that doesn't want to fight.
Yeah, I agree. You know, Cage there held up the title. Does he ever defend the FTW championship?
No, he shouldn't.
You think that's just a prop gimmick? Doesn't mean anything?
Okay, him and a Walker is amazing. I'm not sure how much of a fan I am of the paradigm shift being banned.
I think it is the only way that MJF can win convincingly and where you hate him more. And where it protects...
But I think it makes him look weak.
Oh.
Like if he wins...
Hang on. We got my girl Thunder Rosa. God, I love Thunder Rosa. She's awesome.
Oh, yes, she is.
Oh, yeah. Her charisma jumps off the page. When I saw her live, Oh, it looks like ProWrestling.com. Thanks for the fact check here. Cage defended the FTW title against Pillman on Dark. Interesting. Anyway, Thunder Rosa saw her
Dude,
live.
Thunder Rosa. You remember at the AEW show, she came by, gave me a kiss on the cheek. I was a fan ever since.
Oh yeah, I mean, her coming out dancing to the ring. I mean, just the crowd just on fire for her was awesome.
This is awesome. So happy for her.
Billy Corgan. Oh yeah.
Wow. See, this is cool. I love this, like, this ecosystem of different, organizations working together for special events.
Which is kind of crazy. Actually, I'm a little bit surprised that they're working together again. Obviously, we know at All In, we did see the whole NWA being built up in their debut, and Billy Corgan was at the press conference where myself and managing editor of ProWrestling.com, Mike Killam, were at, which was an awesome time, and we got a chance to be there when they made that announcement. It was super exciting. Anyway, Cody won the NWA championship and lost it a little bit later in Tennessee at NWA 70. And not to go too much into, peeking behind the curtain, but let's just say it was a very unexpected thing for Cody. And so I'm glad to see that they seem to have a working relationship again. I've seen rumors out there that Tony Khan might be interested in acquiring a portion of the NWA, which would be very interesting.
No kidding.
I don't know, how much validity there is to that, but I'd be very interested to see if that were to happen. I just know, all I know is that, a guy like Dave Lagana should not be in the same room with our managing editor, Mike Killam, because I witnessed him yelling at him while we were in line at NWA 70, and that was amazing. Little story time here. Mike Killam, my wife, and I took a road trip down to NWA 70 in Nashville, spent the weekend down there. And we're in line for NWA 70, and Dave Lagana walks by, and Mike goes, "Dave, hey, Mike Killam." He's like, "I know who you are." And Mike's like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Oh, yeah, you're the one that wrote that one story like years ago." And I guess it was, in the little mini story I got from Mike, it was a little bit of not flattering story when it came to him and Dave Lagana.
You have heat with Dave Lagana.
Which, yeah, that was pretty funny. So, Mike, I hope you're still on there on the chat and can fill us in a little bit more with the story. But yeah, it was.
Oh, he's on there. You wanted him to say his name.
Mike Killam is here. No, all right. So switching topics here. Talking about, since we're on commercial break, Matt Hardy attacked Sammy Guevara last week during picture-in-picture. To me, I thought this was awesome. It makes me watch picture-in-picture. It makes me stay tuned. And you know what? Most weeks, I'm live reporting AEW Dynamite on ProWrestling.com. My fingers are hurting, so I'm catching up during the picture-in-picture that I can't even watch it. And this was just one where you have to stop, watch. Obviously, the cue cards was a nice touch with everything with Hardy. I loved it.
They keep towing the line whether that's going to be kind of a silly feud or not. But then the minute that Guevara came back and did the 630 through the table and bloodied him up, took it to a next level. So that will definitely be a really good grudge match.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, do you think there's any stipulations to that kind of thing? Maybe a tables match, since tables have been used a couple times?
Maybe. I don't know if they need it, though. They could still have a really brutal match without a stipulation. What I would hope is that they're not, if it's a regular match, they're not out the ring for a minute and a half.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that people are safe in that match, because that Sammy, I mean, if you listen to the podcast with him on AEW, their podcast. He said pretty much he'll go ahead and do anything, and you have to assume that Matt Hardy in this resurgence wants to do everything too.
Yeah, I totally agree. All right, so over under on this table getting broken.
Let's see here.
I still think that it should be hopefully a really good promo.
It's very interesting to hear Jericho still on commentary, and I know you love it. I know that.
I think he's just good. Yeah, I think he's very good on commentary. He puts everyone over a heel or face.
I hate it. And it's not that I don't like Jericho. Yeah, I mean, and it's not that I don't like Jericho on commentary because he's great on commentary, but then don't make him a heel when it comes to, and
because he's like, it's weird. He's like a baby face on commentary.
Yeah, he's not a heel commentator.
Except with one person that he's feuding with, right? So like when Orange Cassidy's out, he'll be a heel, but then for everyone else, you'll be like, these guys are super talented, which is what a commentator should do, but not if you're like a top three heel. Oh, right. Chris, you had a bunch of people with the live audience when you had your Ozzy Joe in Sioux Falls, you dumbass. Live audience, we live there. Well, some of them won't be living for long.
I definitely thought about going to this, and I wonder if they're going to be doing this for the foreseeable future or how they're going to transition into more and more people. But obviously they're going to have to adhere to CDC guidelines to be able to continue.
How dare you? I am very unhappy Mr. Main Event isn't on.
Don't worry, Bishop. Mr. Main Event does have a segment later where we find some time in between the show here. For those that are on, share. Get this link out, get some more viewers. We'd love to be able to continue to talk to you guys. We're taking a look at the chat all the time here, so share, get everybody on here.
We're feuding.
Apparently Hulk Hogan is here.
He's just
in the chat room. Oh, John Moxley 15-0. I don't know if it's his fault, but with Moxley being obviously so heavily touted coming out Double or Nothing, undefeated, now he's the champion. He's been the champion for going on 6 months. Do you feel like he's been used correctly? And I want to have you answer this in the way of.
Let's hear what.
All right, let's listen in, and then I want you to answer that question.
Jonathan.
Signsings.
Nice to hear a crowd. Oh, low blow. Shots fired.
Gotta love that crowd.
Tick, catered.
Interesting. You know, there's definitely sometimes that I watch MJF and I always think to myself, man, the guy's not wrong. You know, the I'm crazy, John Moxley. It's kind of a real thing.
I wouldn't want to be in a alley with that dude. Might hit me with the.
MJF, of course, saying that John Moxley is in danger at their match during All Out.
Prodigy.
Does this turn out? Oh, I think my Alexa's talking. Is Alexa talking? How much time out of the ring are they spending during that All Out? Oh. Yep. Just what I said.
Yep. Good call. Or death matches.
Hey, I love me some Sandman. Guys like Huevos de Oro. I think MJF actually trained with Dangerous Dan Kowalski.
Ah. Did not know that. God, he's such a good promo. I'm going to put you down.
Have you ever noticed that little name on the bottom there of that belt?
Mm-mm.
First time I've noticed it. You know, it is pretty cool when you're talking about the move set when with John Moxley and obviously the double arm DDT or the paradigm shift. And MJF has what, 3 different finishers?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because Mox is like one with that crossway, like that sleeper.
Yeah. Yep.
Samoa Joe, like coquina clutch. Who is this bag that can't?
Freaking Don King over here with the El Sue. I gotta text Wardlow after this. This is a pretty interesting little trope here, obviously, with taking away the paradigm shift for Jon Moxley. I'm very interested to see if he suddenly pulls out, like what he's talking about, with a little bit of a submission game, some type of, of actual technical wrestling, which I would love to see from Moxley because...
Yeah. Well, I think they're going to do that. He's going to have the kind of match that makes everyone go, whoa, hold on. Like, have a match like this. But we all know he can.
Right. Exactly. It's just been a while since I've seen him do it.
Right.
Those in the chat, you want to see Jon Moxley win? Do you want to see MJF win this title on September 5th at All Out?
Got that right, JR.
Oh, he's putting the lawyer through. Oh. Oh, I love that his name is Mark.
You didn't read the fine print?
Swerve. Wow, that's a good swerve. I like that.
Okay, well played.
I actually really like that. It's a little bit of comeuppance to this guy who has actually done a really good job in the last couple weeks being this lawyer, being this mouthpiece. And it gives me a little bit of, even if Mox is going to lose during the title, it makes me appreciate him during this.
Nah, that was good.
We've got
I like the running gag since the beginning of AEW that every heel from Jericho, MJF, they think that Mox is like this buffoon, like a violent buffoon. They always underestimate his like intelligence, and he always kind of outsmarts them in a very like John McClane everyman way. He doesn't do anything crazy, but like even with the inner circle, like I like the way he gets the one up on these
guys. We've got Primetime Brad Bishop on the chat saying if Moxley wins or Riot. We've got Vinay saying that, Moxley just might say fuck you. We got Mr. Main Event plugging that Ryder Hawkins podcast. It's the one where they talk about, the dumb toys and they bring up dumb podcasts like all the time. But that's cool. let's switch over topics. Well, we got a long commercial here, Fox, to NXT. NXT Takeover 30 over the weekend. We saw bunch of obviously matches that weren't as hyped. We talked about last week. It might have been one of the least hyped NXTs in quite some time. Just on a high level, did you like it? Didn't you like it? You know, what didn't you like? If there were things that you didn't like, I mean, what were your overall thoughts?
So I thought that most everything was very, very good. Nothing stood out to me as like epic, but I thought Pat McAfee had a great showing. Like, I think that's just because my expectations were let him be serviceable, and he actually blew me away. Even though it's very basic, but I think they delivered. Pat's obviously a great personality. He can do a lot of trash talk in the ring. And then some of the stuff he did, like the backflip, and Benjamin leap to the top rope, that was great.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy with the show. Overall, I thought it was a very strong wrestling weekend. You know, you mentioned McAfee. I thought that the guy is crazy athletic. I thought that he might have stolen the show, if you ask me. I thought that was one of the highlights, him and Cole. Perfectly well done, perfectly booked. You know, suck at MME for shitting on Pat McAfee last week because the guy just killed it. Little bit underwhelming to me was the NXT Championship match, which overall the match was okay, but probably lost some luster because of the separated shoulder from Karrion Kross. The guy ended up doing it in the last third of the match or so, and you could tell weird kick out, weird taking that power bomb. Obviously the Sato suplex from the middle rope was a little bit weird, but overall it ended up with Karrion Kross winning the title and defeating Keith Lee, and then he went on to relinquish it, as we saw on Wednesday, due to his separated shoulder. And then,
dude, who do they have? I mean, they have Ciampa, I guess.
I mean, yeah. So they set up for that fatal 4-way for Cole, Balor, Gargano, and Ciampa in a 60-minute Iron Man match next week. I'm very interested to see how that turns out. And we'll talk about some of our predictions for that here in just a little bit. But we've got back on Dynamite here. We've got the Proud and the Powerful cutting a little promo and going into the Lucha Bros.
They got Eddie Kingston now.
Oh man, Eddie Kingston on Saturday making his little managerial debut, which, if for those that have seen Eddie Kingston on Impact know that the guy is just a stud in that creating division, the whole kind of thing. I loved that, but
he's gonna make the Butcher Blade so much more like, I don't know, just interesting.
Yep.
Yonkers 730. I don't know what that means, but that sounds cool.
Interesting. Yonkers 730. Maybe we'll have a 730 match. And for those that didn't see the in Impact Wrestling, there was I think it was a 5-1-5 match or something like that. It was it was with Proud and Powerful against the Lucha Bros, and man, that was incredible. All right, so we've got Brian Pillman there. Love seeing him there.
The Garrison kid. Sonny Kiss. Oh, these guys are done. So
51-50 match ProWrestling.com. Thank you for the yeah. We've got ProWrestling.com commentating in the chat right now, but reminding me that Eddie Kingston killed a little kid in the streets, ran him over, which is pretty amazing, and then they never mention it again.
What?
And also talking about the scene in NXT, and I guess and I haven't seen this news yet, so feel free to drop a link ProWrestling.com about the cruiserweight title being vacated because of COVID. Apparently, the tag titles are dropped because of COVID. Obviously, the North American title flip flopping.
Wait, the tag titles? The NXT tag titles?
That's what we're seeing a little bit of reports here.
Wait, but didn't Breezango just win it?
Yeah, they did win it. Let's see.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, ProWrestling.com. Drop some links.
I don't know. He's saying it was months ago.
Oh, he's saying that. Okay. Yeah. You're talking about. Okay. Apologies. I've thought that I had missed some news for the day.
I was what happened in 24 hours?
Yeah, for those that listen to the show, we always tend to miss some news that happens during the show. So I had assumed that something had happened.
We had 8 straight episodes where some crazy stuff was great.
Yeah.
Right at Thursday at 8 o'clock.
But yeah, no. To your point, ProWrestling.com. Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle, obviously a title change there. We've had Jordan Devlin with the Cruiserweight champion and Santos, whatever his name is.
I still think they kind of did Devlin a little dirty the way they did it.
I mean, you got to think about it. It's been, 5 months since the Cruiserweight champion has been around, and because of the bringing it back to NXT, they had to give it some importance. They had to give it some notoriety. They had to have it on the actual show. But, I mean, yeah, very interesting to see as far as all the transitions that have happened to the title. Adam Cole was the only consistency when it came to that. And now, obviously, that's gone. I mean, could be back again, but I highly doubt that Adam Cole will be the one to.
No, I think right now, way too early prediction is it goes back to Ciampa.
I'm thinking it's going to be Ciampa or Balor, and if it's me, I want it to be Finn Balor.
I want it to be Finn Balor, and then Finn Balor's streak of winning championships in fatal 4-ways, or at least championship opportunities in 4-ways like he did at the Universal, continues.
Yeah, I mean, I would love if he has
have Finn Balor and Ciampa feud all fall.
That's exactly the word. You took the words right out of my mouth. Those two guys need to feud for a couple months moving forward, regardless of who wins it, right? One of those two guys has to win it, and then the feud has to continue from there.
So the way I would do it is Finn Balor wins, holds with Ciampa, and then maybe eventually Ciampa takes it off of him after a couple different feuds, maybe. When Ciampa wins, he wins just in time for Karrion Kross to come back, beat his ass, maybe post-match. That's a built-in story because Karrion Kross, A, didn't lose the title, and B, was the one that put Ciampa out.
Yep, and then maybe annihilates him from behind afterwards. Yep. That sounds horrible. YouTube.
Yeah, I was
gonna go back, delete
Phrasing.
that. Yeah, we're not. This is not a PG show, but we're not going that far. But yep, you're right. ProWrestling.com. Both Joe and Shinsuke are both 2-time champs. Did I miss you saying, Fox, that Ciampa's the only 2-time champ? Sorry, I must have missed you saying that. Oh no, never mind. Vinay is saying that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I forgot about Nakamura.
Yeah,
Joe
Shinsuke,
was.
Yep. They kind of traded a little bit there. I think Nakamura won it for the second time in Japan. But
I remember when Finn, who beat, I think, Owens in Japan for the NXT title, that was one of the takeovers.
Obviously, we're talking about the NXT Championship because of the recent loss from Keith Lee to Karrion Kross relinquishing. But Keith Lee...
I thought the match...
Yeah, I mean... But I think that the worst thing to happen out of all this is not the relinquishing from Karrion Kross, but it was Keith Lee's debut. And I'm not sure if... And I know that... So, ProWrestling.com said that we can stop saying ProWrestling.com every 2 minutes. So...
Can we just say...
No, we can't. We can't say his name. So we saw obviously Keith Lee make his debut on Monday Night Raw, and I know we said we wouldn't be talking Monday Night Raw, but this is less about Raw and more about Keith Lee. Keith Lee, man, did you watch any clips? I know you didn't watch Raw, but did you see anything about his debut?
Saw the bad music and the weird outfit.
Yep, the guy comes out with a rock theme after having a...
Okay, but... So he's apparently going to have new theme at Payback. And I do like that he immediately got involved with Randy Orton, not for the feud, but because he put him at the top of the card.
No,
right?
And I know why people think that that's good. But it doesn't make any sense. The guy goes from debut, and it's more of because of where Payback is. For Keith Lee to debut on a Monday and have a main event pay-per-view match against Randy Orton on a Sunday, and not to quote Dave LaGreca from Busted Open Radio, but that has got to be the greatest debut in the history of all of pro wrestling, to go against a 14-time world champion 1 week into your debut, and not even Kevin Owens. I mean, that was 2 weeks later, and he was a champ, and he was the NXT champion and brought it to Raw, and that was not his official NXT or WWE debut. So... I
don't think it's the greatest debut. I don't think Kevin Owens had the greatest debut to the roster.
Well, no, I say greatest debut very sarcastically in the way of it was just super rushed. Well, it wasn't done well.
I mean, we're cynical marks here, but they're at least treating him like a big deal. Now, do I have any faith that that's sustained? No. But at least they're treating him.
Yeah, and I hope that they do treat him like he's a big deal, and they do him a little bit better than just rushing him into a match right away. Oh, yeah, and for actual debuts... Okay,
well, we're talking about, NXT.
Yeah, the transitions, yeah. And ProWrestling.com just mentioned that.
I'm not going to every debut ever.
Yeah, no, because that would obviously go to Chris Jericho. But as far as... ProWrestling.com mentioned Kane as far as the best debut, which I'm not going to discredit that. That was a fantastic debut at Bad Blood in 1997, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, my... Oh, wait, everybody calm down. Eddie Kingston is talking. Yep, let's... we do have to be quiet for that. I love me some Eddie Kingston. Yes. You have to think that the only way that one of these guys wins it is if Mox retains. And my God, would I love to see an Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley feud. That would rule my world. I've been saying the prediction for the last however long, and I've been saying this for like 8 months now, that MJF versus John Moxley at All Out is that MJF is going to be becoming the AEW World Champion. So I don't think that means any of these 5 guys are going to win it. I feel like a babyface has to win it. Not really sure who's going to end up winning that, and or what the stipulation is. Is that the next pay-per-view? Is that the next Dynamite? What's going to be happening when it comes to, like, when somebody wins that battle royale, who's going, or when they're going to challenge?
Yeah, I think a lot of things are up in the air, and the interesting thing is with AEW, like the tag team division is actually locked up a lot of main event, right? Like a lot of folks who could potentially be like challengers in the future. So, I mean, and even these guys, like Lucha Brothers, like I can't wait until one of them has a singles run.
Yeah, yep. Oh, we've got the Dark Order finally coming in. How about Anna Jay being the one to choke out Brandy last week? Yeah, that was pretty good. Not gonna lie. Wardlow should win the Battle Royal, challenge MJF. That's actually pretty interesting. I think that it would definitely be a good way to cause some division. If that were to happen with Wardlow, so have some automatic, heat between the two guys. Evil Uno lives. I feel like the guy's been completely overshadowed as the voice since Brody Lee came in.
Mm-hmm.
The lawnmower?
I'm so confused.
Wow. What is happening right now?
Please be like a lifelike mannequin. Ah. Oh, that's certainly something. Oh shit! They do shoot everything.
Wow. With the neck tattoo. ProWrestling.com mentioned on the chat here, if Dark Order is more entertaining now that they've got this goofy streak showing on BTE. I did see some clips of their goofy streak and kind of being funny and yelling at each other on BTE, but I think that they're just legitimized more with this TNT Championship, and I think that that's a good testament to Cody as well for making the title important and for us caring about it changing hands. I think that that's a really awesome thing.
You're short. Man, I wonder where they're going with the Colt. Man, I thought it was going to be that Colt wouldn't join or something, but for now he's part of the Dark Order.
He had tweeted earlier today that the champion invited me specifically to his championship rally kind of thing. Man, I love that suit.
That's a great suit. I was gonna say, man, he's part of the Dark Order, but what was great is all of his, like, his flunkies look goofy, And Brody Lee's always in stark contrast to him immediately from a visual level, puts him on another level. It's like nothing about what he's wearing is Dark Order, right? He's not wearing a thing. All right, Schiavone.
How about that title belt? Colt saying no. All right, Cody does not suck. Come on, guys. And
It's
wow,
the Dark Order chanting.
I'm so glad that the crowd didn't chant on that, because I've been talking about the last few weeks about the people turning on Cody. So I'm glad that open challenge is over. There we go.
Good. That's exactly what you should do. You deserve fantastic.
The Queen Slayer.
Yeah.
Put that mask on, lady. Shouldn't go under your nose. Oh.
Yeah, I thought they were going to lead to that. He also didn't give him a high five.
No, I gotta say, it's interesting to see that Brody has got this like mean streak kind of to him, and then all the rest of the guys are a little bit like nerdy and dorky, kind of like this like they're just dumbly following him. So it's very interesting to see that. Oh, we got Dustin.
Oh, Dustin going to die.
Yep.
You got QT Marshall in there too.
QT Marshall joined the Dark Order.
Oh, these guys are toast.
Cody has to make his return with a mask on, right? Oh.
Is that Scorpio Sky? I love it. Oh no, I think our prediction.
Don't know. I'm very.
No.
I hope that does not happen.
Scorpio Sky is gonna. Oh no, he's gonna be his first victim.
Oh, choke him out. I love Scorpio Sky.
Me too. I think he could be an amazing babyface, like on his own. Also, can I say, damn?
I don't know what you're talking about. All right, right after this, we're going to hop into Mr. Main Event segment where he's going to be talking about the Mimosa Mayhem match. So stay tuned during the commercial for that.
Shit.
First, we do have Matt Cardona going crazy.
Cardona is jacked.
And Orange.
He's like as red as Dustin.
And we talked a little bit about it earlier with the Mimosa Mayhem match, but, in seeing Chris Jericho, but you got to, assume that they're going to probably build it up pretty quickly after this. And we want to get Mr. Main Event's thoughts about where we go to, Chris Jericho versus Orange Cassidy in the Mimosa Mayhem match. So take it, MMA.
It's me. It's
MME.
Whoop-de-ding-dong.
Welcome to In the Mind of Mr. Main Event. I am Mr. Main Event, a lifelong wrestling fan who's gone through many phases of fandom, including being a smart mark, a backyard wrestler, a trained professional wrestler, and now I'm back doing what I love, sitting back, watching, and being a fan of my favorite kind of entertainment, professional wrestling. In these crazy COVID times, we've seen some weird matches. Boneyard match, Firefly Funhouse, Stadium Stampede. It seems like ideas are just flung to a wall to see if they stick. Well, AEW will do the flinging at All Out with their newest concoction. This week, I question what I do in my spare time as I answer the question. Is a Mimosa Mayhem match the right choice for Jericho vs. Cassidy 3? I thought AEW would be a more athletic, wrestling-based company, more like a sport and less like a Will Ferrell movie, but I was wrong, and that's okay. I'm not an anti-comedy guy in my wrestling taste. However, I do think there's a way to go overboard pretty quickly, and AEW's definitely broken that threshold a couple of times. That being said, if you thought a Jericho vs. Cassidy feud was going to be anything besides comedy, you're nuts. When this feud started, I think most people were interested in seeing how these guys will mesh. And I think on a macro level, AEW's done well with this feud. Jericho got the first victory, he should, he's Chris Jericho. But Cassidy proved that he can hang with the older Jericho and snuck out the second victory. Excellent. Include the inner circle getting dumped with orange juice and Orange Cassidy being waterboarded by champagne. This is just an updated old school wrestling feud, and while I can nitpick and complain about some of the wrestling, I won't. As far as building a feud and having a storyline, we are good. And now, for what I assume is the blow-off match, who's going to win this feud? How will it be settled? Well, it used to be a cage match to settle these things, but now you better adapt because we have the Mimosa Mayhem match. My immediate reaction is that this is a joke, and it's one of those things that you can't even talk to a non-wrestling fan about. I can't convince somebody that they should drink mimosas, let alone watch a match that's going to have too much over-the-top comedy. And the crazy thing is, Jericho referenced that this idea came to him from watching an old exploding ring death match. And now I feel like I know what to expect for this match. They're going to treat the vats of mimosas that will be on three sides of the ring like they're explosives. They're going to tease falling in and sell it like they just saved their lives instead of what would really happen when they fall in, which is some light discoloring of their clothes. Look, if you really want me to go off on this, I can. I think it's stupid. But just like anything else today, I'm going to watch it, complain about it, and then by next week, I'll be on to the next thing. This match is not going to be the next Money in the Bank or Elimination Chamber. It's going to be more of an Ambrose Asylum match with a disappointment and a mop attached to the side of a cage. But is this the right match for a Jericho vs. Cassidy blow-off match? Absolutely. Jericho has to do things like this because if he just wrestled, he'd be like The Undertaker. We'd ask him to hang it up every week. Cassidy, on the other hand, he's a comedy wrestler. Like him or not, this fits perfectly with his attitude and character. Whether this match ends up good or not, who knows? Who really cares? My opinion will probably be based off of how I'm feeling that day. It's going to be remembered for its silliness, and at this point in these guys' career, it's actually the perfect blow-off match. As the type of wrestling fan I am, I just hope it's short and no one drowns. Tweet me your favorite mimosa flavors at NoBigWeevils. That's NoBigWeevils.
Coming back out of commercial.
Right in time. Hang on.
Whoa. Whoa. And the broken glass gimmick. Oh, we're gonna get broken Hangman Page.
Lovely.
Oh, man. That was awesome.
Okay.
That was great.
I'm in.
Wow.
Beautiful.
That was the best part of the show for me. That was fantastic. I loved that. Mr. Main Event on the chat popping for his own segment is what I'm thinking here.
Yeah, we rudely cut off any of our analysis on what MME said because that segment was sweet.
We talked about it a little bit earlier, but Fox, as far as the Mimosa Mayhem match, my first reaction was, what the fuck are they doing? Like, seriously, like, it just makes Orange Cassidy to me a joke. It just makes him a guy that I just don't care about. And Chris Jericho, once again, being entertaining. Like, I want him to be a heel. I want him to fuck Orange Cassidy up, and just pisses me off.
I don't know. Yeah, and am I also the only one that now Jericho's like physique or lack thereof now is like actively distracting me from his matches? Like, I know that's like really harsh, and he's like 50. I get it.
I mean, he looks great for 50, but I mean, and he's not as it's that chest, it's that separation for the chest, man. It's
no, it's I don't know, because like I know when he in the gym does the DDP yoga and stuff like that, he's always gonna be like a big guy, but when he's letting it go a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is, it's a bit of a joke, but it could be entertaining. But yeah, it's like it's a logical blow up. This thing, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Mr. Main Event mentioned it's going to be way more of that entertaining match versus a serious match, and that's fine. You're going to get a lot of the about to fall off into the into the vat of orange mimosa or whatever, and that's fine. I just can't expect any longer a 5-star classic from these two. Both of them are capable of it, but they just don't care to have it.
I never expected a 5-star classic from them, even in their earlier matches. I figured, don't know if like Jericho had that kind of match in a long time. Like, I think his match Omega is probably his best AEW match.
Yeah, I agree. His match with Omega, his match with Moxley was good.
His match with Cody was pretty good too.
Yeah. So he has the ability to deliver.
Right now, super botched.
Yeah, and I know that we have some requests to talk about Big Swole, but how good is Kip Sabian is what I want to ask you. Because the guy plays, I think you mentioned it like a few months ago, is that Kip Sabian plays that damsel in distress really, really well.
It's just like a total gender swap. Or like the swap of tropes.
Yep. ProWrestling.com mentions in the chat about comedy matches, and as well as I do, I'm not even going to try to not admit it here, that comedy matches are just not my thing. I think they're, to use your favorite line, there's a difference between, Santino Marella comedy and The Rock comedy.
Okay, man. Comedy matches are, for you, are always guilty until proven innocent. And that's okay.
And you're right. And you're right, because
like it's okay to be like, I like serious wrestling. I like my wrestling to be serious. It's okay, man. And
you're right. It is guilty before being proven innocent, because I don't want it to be dumb. I want it to be funny without being dumb. Now, granted, can't one match be for comedy? And that's all well and good. I would appreciate if there is a match that is going to be entertaining in a funny way versus a sports spectacle, but I think that is what is going to keep Orange Cassidy from going to the next level. In my opinion, I feel like, seeing Chris Jericho and keeping him, and I've mentioned this before, but with Chris Jericho being a comedy guy and not a heel that you hate and not somebody that you want Orange Cassidy to punch his teeth in, is keeping Orange Cassidy from going to the next level. It's stopping everything.
In the Jericho, man. He's not getting hindered by doing this. It's not like, oh man, Orange is going to be in the main event, but then he has to have one match with Chris Jericho. I'll tell you what, if there was, obviously it looks like they'll be here. It's going to be, there's going to actually, on that match, like the crowd will be really loud. And all those spots, they'll be like, somebody, whoa. They're going to get big action.
Yeah, and I guess now that, they're going over next week here. Interesting. But they're, now that the crowd is back, Orange Cassidy is probably going to regain some of his luster. But we've got,
yay, more
looks
energy.
like, yeah. Oh, Tanera Conti.
Oh, they had an arts and crafts.
It's not going to go to her. It's going to go to someone else. Come on. Oh, maybe not.
Not a chance. It's gonna go.
Wow. Jim Ross saying, let's all go to the mall. Good How I Met Your Mother reference there. Gotta love that.
Let's Robin Sparkles.
Yep.
You know who I miss? Pac.
Yep. Me too. We got a little bit of a rant going on here by ProWrestling.com, talking about comedy matches, talking about
Mike.
No, my mic is fine. But ProWrestling.com.
I figured you did that.
I feel like he's been talking about, and I don't disagree, PW, about Orange Cassidy being brought up into that level of where he's at. I praised him earlier of talking about how he is on the cusp of being in that main event, but I feel like this is what's keeping him from going into that next level, and that's fine. He doesn't need to be in that main event picture yet, but I feel like I have trouble buying him beyond exactly where he's at, but we'll see what happens.
I guess we shall.
And by the way, I think that Ortiz is, low-key one of the best wrestlers in the Inner Circle.
Oh, yeah. Jericho says it all the time. Like, this Mimosa segment, I felt bad for Orange Cassidy. It's like someone getting hazed at the fraternity board, you know what I mean?
It's just
interesting. Yeah, it's giving in terms of mimosas and champagne and stuff, but I was like, man, with doing very little, Orange Cassidy is so eliciting sympathy.
It's interesting because you're right. The sympathy card is one thing, but anything that Orange Cassidy does is going to be under huge scrutiny. Specifically, he's the guy that doesn't try and put 10 in his pockets. He tries in a match or brawls with a guy, it's a little out of his character. You give him some sympathy, it's a little bit out of his character. He wrestles really hard, it's a little bit out of his character. Now, granted, the guy can evolve and try and do all these things, but it has to be done correctly. And I think that you've heard me say it many times. You take one step forward, two steps back with him, because I feel like there's several times that I do like him a lot. There's just several things that they do in between that make me like, I feel like they're doing this too quick for him, and it just doesn't sell me the way I want it to sell me.
That's fair, man. They've done great things with Orange Cassidy. We're having these conversations about whether him or Darby Allin, or who's going to reach the top first. You know what I mean? Like, it's a different path to get there. If they haven't given me any reason, yeah, they're going to misuse this guy. I don't want to lose
Yeah.
all the fun stuff of it. Like, there's got to be a little bit of that.
And seeing the chat here, a lot of people bringing up WWE logic, and I feel like that's the best time for me to hit this button.
You, sir, assume that the WWE uses logic with their booking. A rookie mistake.
Can't have a show, especially a live show, without a little bit of Gandalf here, so I appreciate you, Grumpy Gandalf. But, yeah, I mean, there have been a lot of things they've done long-term booking into AEW's credit. One of the things that I can say is that they probably are the most consistent with long-term booking during the COVID era. I give them a lot of credit for that because it's very difficult to know who's going to be there. Obviously, you saw the release of B. Priestley. You saw the release of Sadie Gibbs. You see all these other guys like Pac that can't show up. You start Death Triangle, and the next week he's out. So AEW has just done a very, very good job of trying to be the most consistent when it comes to all of that.
They have. I'm willing to give the chance, right? Like, if AEW and WWE both have credit for, I'm a bank that's willing to AEW because it's always repaid it. And they've got the 700+ credit score.
And we got about 9 minutes left in today's show, so a couple of quick shout-outs and people that we always love and appreciate that are supporters. For one, the Rhino Wrestling Review that is always available on the homeland, the motherland, ProWrestling.com. We've mentioned them several times over the last couple hours here that you've been listening, but go subscribe, watch, and do anything that you can. Read stories, ProWrestling.com. Follow managing editor of ProWrestling.com at Mike Killam, Killam. There is no I in Killam. Thanks to guys like Vinay and Mr. Main Event and all those guys that are always supporting us. We definitely really appreciate that.
And all you guys support me.
And share all of our lovely, beautiful friends that are supporting us every single week. That said, we are back with the final main event of this show with Sammy Guevara against Matt Hardy.
Why did I think you guys face off at All Out?
Yeah, for some reason I thought that was happening too, and maybe we'll get some shenanigans here for this to continue because I don't know why they would have the blow off 2 weeks before All Out. Oh. Interesting seeing Matt Hardy, obviously, as
Matt Hardy.
Regular Matt Hardy, not broken Matt Hardy, not,
I like it. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Man, who the hell wears the jeans anymore,
Where's the what anymore, you said?
The Jinko jeans, like the...
Oh, yeah. I mean, who doesn't love Jinko jeans,
They were big in 2000.
I had these Jinko shorts that went all the way down to my ankles. They may as well have been jeans. But man, those things were baggy. You know what I used to love about them is the fact that you can fit a full-size CD Walkman into them, you know?
God, we have just aged ourselves. Like, we're just saying on era.
Yeah, those are the... You know, I had one of those CD Walkmans that you can see through. I don't know if you remember those. You can watch a disc spin. Those are cool. Those are the coolest.
I always had the baggy card.
Yep.
Yeah. Wait in line at YE or Virgin Records.
Those that are watching live, if you guys liked what you saw, let us know. Email us at stfunderground at gmail.com. Get in touch with us on social media at STF Underground on Twitter and Instagram, on Facebook, STF Underground Podcast. Let us know if you like this. There's obviously a chance that we will do this again. I thought that this was a lot of fun. Fox, it's been a while since we've gotten to watch some wrestling together, so this was a lot of fun. But
and you know, we'll iron out the things here.
Yeah. You know, obviously,
Sam, which one is better, NXT or AEW?
You know,
okay, Sammy Guevara died.
Going into this match, I probably am going to say AEW. NXT was actually very, very good. I felt like the matches were good, the segments were good, but for some reason, I don't know if it's just the way that they formatted the show. I don't know if it's, you know, that there was too much lag time in between, so I felt like the pacing of the show still felt slow. So by the end of the show, you know, which I found very interesting because normally I watch AEW first on a Wednesday, and then I'll watch NXT. So by the end of the time that I'm watching NXT, I'm tired and I'm ready to be done with my wrestling after 4 hours of watching. On Wednesday night, it was just NXT, and I still felt like, all right, I'm a little over the show, even though it was a good show. But I haven't felt that way with this Dynamite at all. Obviously, we're recording live, everybody, so it's a little bit more difficult to say. But I felt like overall there hasn't been anything offensive. I mean, would you agree, Fox?
No, there hasn't been anything offensive, but I'd say you enjoyed NXT more this week. Both were solid shows. Kind of your preference. I was really, oh man, Sammy Guevara is bleeding out, by the way.
Profusely, yep.
Okay, so they're blowing up right now. But yeah, I think I really enjoyed the cruiserweight first time. I thought the main event was really good, and even the else was there like like Dakota Kai and Ruckman, they really gelled well together on the show. I popped really big.
Oh,
back and basically,
wow,
dude, this is brutal.
Wow, that chair spot, the twist of fate onto the.
Oh,
Wow, that was sick. And a big deleted table. That's incredible.
delete.
Deleted. Oh, that table's fantastic. Wow, that chair underneath the table is bad news.
Oh no.
Oh, he's got to move. Don't suplex him through that. Don't span. Oh, Jeebus.
Nope, he's gonna do a leg drop and then he's gonna move and someone will pull him back.
Ugh. It's over, Rover.
Oh no!
Wow. Man. That is a heck of a gash on the side of the head of Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara victorious in this match. Overall, I actually love that match. It was exactly what I think I needed to see. The crowd reaction
was
fantastic.
Best match I've seen in ages.
Yeah, very good. Oh, and speak of El Diablo, we've got an Orange Cassidy coming out to attack Chris Jericho. Wow. Tony Schiavone and JR booking it. But it is serious here. Wow. Great way to end the show. Very much appreciate what they're doing. This, I'm okay with. This is a one step forward for Orange Cassidy. I'm very happy about this. You can tell it's been an interesting match and an interesting finish because the chat here has gone quiet. All right, I'm happy with the way that match finished. I felt like that was very, very good.
Do they have a follow-up? It all out, you think?
Will they have a follow up after All Out? You're saying?
No. You're talking about the same.
Oh, and Matt Hardy. If they do, it's not this version of Matt. If they do, it is a broken version of Matt. I do think that maybe it makes the other version of Matt come out, and that I would be okay with. If it's this version of Matt once again, I don't need to see it. This was more or less a blow off for me, and I'm okay with it being done from there. So, you know, I mean, what do you think?
I feel like that ending really was a cherry on top. So it's tough to both NXT and AEW were really, really solid this week, and I think I was just of Ciampa coming. I thought that was a big moment. But looking back on there were some really cool things, especially to the Casino Battle Royal. Actually, really good.
Yeah, for me, I think the biggest return of the week was the fans on AEW. I mean, it's crazy how much a impact that makes, and I thought that was very good to see. You know, and you could tell right away, and it was, even though I don't like him on commentary, and I don't like Jericho getting that face pop and the sing along and everything like that with the entrance coming out. You could tell right away with Jericho having his sing along how different the night was going to be, and I thought that was awesome.
I agree.
So, once again, fans, if you like this, let us know. Listeners, if you like this, let us know. Obviously, this episode is still going to come out normal time on Fridays on ProWrestling.com. Also, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, pretty much everywhere you can find wrestling. Fox, my friend, where can people follow you?
Follow me on Twitter at Fox Narayan. I'm on Instagram at Fox.
And as usual, we are going to see you guys next week during our regularly scheduled program. Follow us everywhere that you can. Fox, say it, my friend.
Audio.
Thanks for listening to STF Underground. Like what you heard? New episodes drop every week. If you want more content, follow us on Facebook at STF Underground Podcast or on Twitter and Instagram at STF Underground.